Hello and welcome to a little bit of a different video. As you've probably seen from the last part, we are now at the end of the actual playthrough. I didn't want to say anything at the end of that part and just thought I'd go into the credits. So I can take the credits to talk about some stuff. Now, first off, I want to thank all of you guys if you went this far and watched this Let's Play. I've been doing Let's Plays for since YouTube even existed, like over 7 or 8 years. And I had to take down a lot of them, sadly, because they were really bad and I didn't want them on my channel anymore. But I think this was really the first Let's Play where I really thought that there's actually people out there that are interested in what I'm trying to do here. Which might also be in fact that, like I said, a lot of my old Let's Plays were really bad. And I'm actually starting to sort of get into this thing a lot better now. So, first off, huge shoutouts to Gilmore, Mizzy, Sores for leaving a lot of comments and actually telling me a lot of important stuff about the actual stuff that went on behind the game, and also just making sure that there's someone there that I like. Oh, someone is actually watching this thing. Also, there were some other people who commented and said some stuff, and also really thanks to all of you guys for actually making me feel like, yeah, like I said, like someone is actually interested in what I'm doing. So I'm also going to take this opportunity to tell you guys that if there's anything you want me, well, for one, if there's anything you want me to play next, any other game, or anything else you have, any other thoughts you have about my Let's Plays, or anything that I'm doing in general, you can always feel free to just leave me a comment or anything and just tell me what it is. And also, after this I'm gonna put into effect the first thing that someone said, is I'm gonna fight the rest of the bosses. So this is not gonna be the last part. After this I'm gonna do a bunch of bonus parts where I'm basically going around and making sure that I fight every single boss. And I think I'm gonna try and include the Dark Lurker, which is the secret boss of the game. So if you don't know what the Dark Lurker is, or you have never seen the Dark Lurker, it's pretty much the one big secret boss of the game, and it's really cool and it's actually really tough. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna do that one last because that's like the absolute pinnacle of, well, Dark Souls 2 combat boss fight. I don't know. So stay tuned for that. And if there's anything else I can do, once again, just tell me. I'm so happy about everything that you guys tell me in the comments. So yeah, about the future after this, I have a bunch of games on my Steam list from the Humble Indie Bundle that recently happened, and I think I'm gonna play some of these, maybe like Unepic or one of these games. If you don't care about games like Unepic or something like that, also tell me before I start the Let's Play so I know about that. And apart from that, I don't know what else I could play. I don't know about Dark Souls 1 because Dark Souls 2, like I said a lot at the beginning of this Let's Play, is really cool with keyboard and mouse because the controls are, in my opinion, even more precise than what you have on a gamepad. But additionally to the precision, you also have the speed in the menu because you have a mouse, and you also have, I don't know, it feels less stiff, the gameplay. If you've always played with gamepad, you wouldn't say that. You would say like, oh, the controls are really good, I don't know what you mean, and ah man, I played keyboard and mouse once and it was really bad because I couldn't control my shit. But this is the thing about keyboard and mouse. Once you get to control your stuff really well, in my opinion, it feels a lot more open, a lot more controlled. But yeah. But the thing about Dark Souls 1 is that the Dark Souls 1 keyboard and mouse controls were really bad. In Dark Souls 2 they were a lot better, like really good. But in Dark Souls 1 they were just absolutely horrible. And of course I could play through the game at a similar level than what I did with this one. Like similar level of success probably, but it wouldn't feel that well, so I don't know. Also, Dark Souls 1 is already a game it's done its fair share of aging over the last few years, because now with Dark Souls 2 Skull of the First Sin looking so good, playing so well, having so much cool stuff in there, Dark Souls 2 starts looking a bit stale. So I'm not sure about that. So this is pretty much my proposal about those Steam games. So if you haven't seen the newest Humble Indie Bundle, just go to humblebundle.com. It should still be on there. It's like Humble Bundle 14 or something, and you can look for some of those games. I've already played La Mulana, which is probably the best of the bunch. But maybe if I can get myself around to it, I can play La Mulana again. But that game is absolutely insane. Like, if you think Dark Souls 2 is a pretty hard game, and there's some tough spots in there, La Mulana is so incredibly tough. Not just the fighting. I mean, the fighting and stuff is rather simple most times, apart from some bosses. But the puzzling, oh my god. If you haven't seen La Mulana before, it's basically like an old 2D Metroid style game. It's like a jump and run, and you have a whip, so like in Castlevania. And you go around collecting items that make you either more powerful or give you new abilities and stuff like that. So it's a really cool Metroidvania, as people would call it. But the meat of the game is the puzzles. And the puzzles, a lot of them are based on either old mythology that actually exists or made up mythology. And the amount of puzzles and the difficulty of those puzzles is absolutely insane. It's almost impossible to play through that game without having a walkthrough open on some other screen at every single point. You just go into that game and you have like so many ways to go, and on every single way you go, there's like this insane puzzle where you're like, what is even going on? I have no idea. And then there's like puzzle solutions like, stand in this spot with this item selected for 10 seconds and then go to this other spot where now you use the incredibly different item that changed from something else you did. And then you stand in another spot for 20 seconds with that item selected, and that opens a chest for an ocarina, and you can use that ocarina in another place, and it just keeps on going, and you've got no idea what's going on at any point. But watching it could be rather interesting. So I'm not sure about that. But like I said, I'd probably have to get like a walkthrough, play through the game on my own, maybe like once or twice to actually get a sort of like a feeling for what is actually going on before I can make a let's play. Because if I went into that let's play right now, I would just start the game, get into the first area and be like, okay guys, I've got absolutely no idea what to do. See you guys next part, and then just do stuff like that. So I don't know. But if from what you just heard you would be interested in La Mulana, then just tell me in the comments and I'll take a look at it. But I can't promise anything, because that La Mulana is like, unless you've got the entire game inside out, just don't even try it. Or if you've played La Mulana for the first time, doing a blind let's play of that game, I don't think you can get further than like 5% in that game on a blind let's play. But luckily I've played through the game before, so at least I know some stuff. So yeah, also about that ending. Oh sorry, I didn't actually realize that in the ending you see his face because I put on the crown. You don't have to put on the crown, but I thought it makes more sense because the ending is pretty much like, you have the crown, you're awesome now. You don't have to give a shit about the world anymore. You just go out and do stuff. So yeah, Lunk looked like a pretty bad retard, but whatever. Anyway, like I think I also explained the ending as well. That there's this entire cycle, but you just say, I don't care about the cycle anymore, I'm doing my own stuff, even if the world dies, I don't give a damn. That's basically that new ending from Skull of the First Sin. I'm not 100% sure why you have to fight Alia for that. I think for one, he just wants to die after having passed on everything, and two, he wants to make sure that you're actually the correct guy for this, and he's not giving all this to a fucking retard. That was pretty bad, but he's not giving to someone who's not worthy. So yeah, that was that. I'm gonna do one last, for posterity, one last bit of leveling before I'm done with this game. Not like I said, not done with this game, but until I'm gonna, oh, that doesn't do a lot. Until I'm gonna go on with the bonus where I go and fight a lot of all the bosses that I missed. Oh, let's go to 2000, that's a good spot. Some endurance, there we go. And with that, I'm gonna be seeing you next time on the bonus. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.